I'm taking on the challenge of discovering the secret to personal growth, accountability, and building successful relationships. Can I unlock these life-changing insights?
Welcome to Whose Tea TV.
Whose tea is it really?
Is it mine?
Is it yours?
Is it theirs?
Or is it ours as a collective? Whose tea is it really?
Here's your channel host, Miss T.
That's the question. Personal growth, accountability, and relationships are the three pillars that are key to unlocking our true potential and living a life full of purpose and fulfillment. It's hard to imagine one without the others, as they're intricately intertwined. When we focus on personal growth, we become more self-aware, and that awareness leads to a sense of accountability. And when you're accountable, we're more likely to form deeper, more meaningful relationships. But let's be honest, it can be challenging, right? We've all been stuck in a rut at some point, feeling like we're not making progress or living up to our expectations. In those moments, we must remind ourselves why personal growth, accountability, and relationships are so crucial to our success. Think about it. When we prioritize our own growth, we become better partners, better friends, and better family members. We're more understanding, we're more empathetic, and supportive. And when we're accountable, we take ownership of our actions and our mistakes, which leads to stronger, more resilient relationships. I've always been fascinated by the stories of people who have struggled with personal growth, accountability, and relationships. Those who have faced adversity and come out on the other side with a newfound appreciation for life and a deeper understanding of themselves. Like the story of Sarah. Sarah felt like she was stuck in a dead-end job with no direction or no purpose. She struggled to hold herself accountable for her happiness, and as a result, her relationship suffered. She felt lost and alone, as if she were going through the motions of life without any real sense of fulfillment. Then on the other hand, there's the story of John, who had always been the life of the party, but deep down he was struggling with his feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. He had a hard time being accountable to himself and let alone others, and his relationships were superficial. Now, I've heard stories of people who have felt like they were living a lie or pretending to be someone who they were not just to fit in or gain approval. They struggled to find the courage to be vulnerable, authentic, and themselves. But then something changed. Something shifted inside of them, and they began taking ownership for their own lives. They started prioritizing their personal growth, and that's when all of the magic happened. That's when Sarah discovered her passion for art and started taking classes at the local studio. She started to hold herself accountable for her happiness, and slowly but surely, her relationships began to transform. That's when John started attending therapy sessions. How about that? And he began to unpack his feelings of inadequacy. He started to be more accountable to himself, and that's when his relationship started to deepen. In those moments of transformation, we realized the secret to personal growth, accountability, and building successful relationships. It's not about achieving perfection, right? You do know that. It's about us embracing our imperfections and being willing to grow, learn, and evolve from those past experiences. That pivotal moment came when I realized that I was living someone else's dream and not my own. I was chasing success, chasing it, and validation from others rather than listening to my heart and my desires. It was a scary moment, but it was also a liberating one when I walked away from the chaos. It was like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders and I could finally breathe again. I started to focus on my personal growth, and that's when I began to feel a sense of accountability for myself. I started showing up in my relationships, even more than I was before, with more authenticity, vulnerability, and empathy. And that's when everything changed. My relationships now are so deep that it would make your head spin. My sense of purpose became more apparent, and I felt more fulfilled than I've ever felt before. The steps I took after that revelation were not always easy, but it was necessary. I started to prioritize my own needs, my own desires, and my own growth. I started holding myself accountable for my actions, my words, and my mistakes. I started to focus on building relationships rooted in authenticity, vulnerability, and empathy. Relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. Now, looking back, I realized that it's not about achieving that perfection. It's about embracing our imperfections and being willing to grow, learn, and evolve, right? It's about being accountable to ourselves and others and nurturing relationships that bring us joy, fulfillment, and a sense of belonging. So, what's the key takeaway here, Miss T, from all of this? Personal growth, guys, accountability, and relationships are just all intertwined. You can't only have one without the others, right? They're the three pillars to unlocking our true potential and living a life of purpose and fulfillment. So I want to hear from you. What's your story? What's your struggles that you faced in these areas, and how have you overcome it all? Please share your experience in the comments below, and let's start a conversation. And if you are new here, consider subscribing to more content to help you grow, learn, and evolve. And if you want a dive deeper into this particular topic, check out my other videos on building meaningful relationships. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.